Patricia Cornwell is a New York Times best-selling author, 120 million copies in print.
I am blown away by this. See ya. Bye.
For her new thriller, Quantum, she was given unprecedented access to NASA and its facilities. And she's joining me right now. Patricia, good morning.
Hello, Jeff.
Well, let's talk about your new book, Quantum, which is a departure for you. It deals with science and technology. Were you watching 2001 for an inspiration?
No. Actually, it's not as much of a departure as you might think, because the Scarpetta series that I'm mostly known for is very rooted in science, is rooted more in the forensic science. But what a lot of people don't realize is if you go, for example, to NASA Langley, which is where Quantum is set in Virginia, at Hampton, Virginia, you will find a lot of the same scientific instruments at a NASA facility as that you will find in a forensic lab, such as a scanning electron microscope, where Scarpetta might magnify something 100,000 times to see some trace evidence that was recovered from a scene. Well, you might go to NASA Langley and they are magnifying a microchip 100,000 times with the same instrument, but they're looking for something different that might be etched on that chip that's got to do with those kinds of technology. So it's a different type of technology, but also very similar, but I'm using things in a different way. We have an investigator, Captain Chase. She's a cyber investigator. The biggest thing that she has to worry about is someone trying to hack into the rocket, someone trying to hack into NASA, the kind of terrible things that people can do now in the invisible world of computers and electronics and basically the cyber world. So she's also a scientist and a test pilot, and her goal is to be an astronaut. She grew up on a farm in Hampton, Virginia, on a river. She has a twin sister who's also on her way, hopefully, to being an astronaut. NASA parents, but they're human stories rooted in the same things I've always written about, which is there are good people and there are bad people, and everything is about who's trying to have power.
Now, in your writing for Quantum, there's such a realism because you visited 7 different NASA campuses, plus along with some secret government facilities. Can you talk about it?
Well, one of the big ones is the Secret Service, and of all the years, decades actually, that I've done law enforcement research, I never really spent any time with the Secret Service, and they weren't really that accessible. But I met a Secret Service cyber investigator at the CIA last summer, and through her, I got an introduction to the Secret Service, and I didn't realize how much they're really big into cyber investigation, and I think you could understand why. I mean, hacking, imagine when you're protecting Air Force One or Marine One or the president's limousines and things like this, everywhere you take the president. So they really are the masters of this invisible world that we're at war with, and by the way, Captain Chase is on one of their task forces, and so that has been really cool. They took me on their driving range and put me in one of their cars and did all their fancy stuff, which was probably a little bit similar to being in a rocket, I might add. And so it's, I went to Interpol a number of times. I've done that before. Scotland Yard. That was interesting to see what they've done with their new facility to worry about these things we're talking about. People don't realize it's the invisible world that will get you.
Now, you were in Los Angeles for the Live Talk series, which I'm a huge fan of. I couldn't make it this time around, but tell me, what was that experience like?
Well, that was fun, and that's the second time that Jamie Lee Curtis has interviewed me on stage, and for people who love her as an actress, I will tell you, she's one of the best interviewers. She's really smart, and so we had a great time doing that. It was a really fun night. I'm sorry you weren't there.
Next time I'll make it, I promise. I've always wanted to ask a successful author like yourself, what is the process in choosing the cover for your book? Do you have an input on it? Is it done by committee? How does that process work?
It's really funny you'd ask that. Not so much final say, but I do give input. And with the Quantum book jacket, those very strange looking space-like spheres on the cover, those are actually at NASA Langley. They're the vacuum spheres that they use to run the wind tunnels, these giant tunnels where you put models of planes and spaceships and things like that, and you use wind to do various experiments, it's a really crazy thing. Some of these wind tunnels are absolutely huge and some of them are really small. But those spheres all are part of that NASA facility. So I suggested, when we were thinking of a cover for this, I said, you know, I see that's what Captain Chase sees when she drives to work every morning. They're right across the street from her office. So you know, we all brainstorm.
Well, Patricia, congratulations on Quantum. During your book tour, make sure you stop here in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you.
I love to visit Vegas. And the slot machines like me too.
Well, they'll be here waiting for you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You can find a copy of Quantum now available in bookstores and online. And for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.